I love you. Welcome back, all you couch potatoes, but specifically, you lady couch potatoes, because it's International Women's Month.
That's right. I think it should be.
Is it a month?
They should get a whole year, every day of the year, every year.
That's true. Word up.
Women rock.
This is our... They do, actually. They really do. They do. This is our episode in celebratory of the woman.
Yes. And one woman in particular.
The woman king herself.
The woman king, that's right.
Viola Davis. But before we talk Viola Davis, allow us disgusting people to talk ourselves. I am the Green Traveler from Gorge.
And I am the Faceless Leone, the stretchiest experiment on Earth. This is a podcast about TV and movies. And we're talking, as we said, Viola Davis got 2 movies to spotlight her prowess as an actor.
Yeah, most recently, the most recent person to be invited to the very, very tiny group of EGOT winners.
Right.
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony winners. It's like, I don't know, I think she's number 19. Something like that.
And we're hoping that this is a nice little add to her celebration of that. And so today we're going to talk about... Yeah, I know. I think we're both a little sleepy. I have not been sleeping very well this week.
Oh, she's the 18th.
The 18th
person.
Oh, you just want...
Even smaller group
You just
than
want
I
her to be the 19th.
I'll be the 19th.
Oh, I see.
Eventually, I will be an EGOT.
Dude,
can you imagine me winning?
Honestly, imagine if Stephen King it becomes the 19th winner.
That'd be pretty funny. Yeah, I doubt it, but it'd be funny.
Yeah.
I can imagine. If ever I were to actually write, to like actually get published and everything, I could imagine a future where it was possible, very, very, very slim, but possible, that I could win an Emmy, Oscar, and a Tony, because I can write stuff that could win that. But a Grammy...
You'd have to write a really good song.
Yeah, it'd be very, very neat. Or I guess there is an audiobook version. There is an audiobook category. I didn't know that. Yeah. Maybe I can win best audiobook reading.
And it'll be read by me.
Oh, okay. Then you would win it.
But it's your book.
No, I'm pretty sure that's how Audrey Hepburn. Well, I think it's for the performance. I think that's what the category is for. I'm not honestly sure. I don't know the Grammys of the 4 of those. I barely know
watch
Grammys
movies
and
and
barely know
TV.
Tonys.
Awards?
Yeah, exactly. Fucking please. What are you talking about?
But congratulations, Viola Davis.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how Audrey Hepburn became part of the EGOT crowd, was because she I think she had an audiobook, yeah. I think Viola Davis might have too. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that might be how she...
Well,
she's out there listening
maybe...
to this, and she's like, no, you fucking idiot.
Well, we should have looked up why she has all these awards.
Well, I mean, it's obvious why she's got all these awards.
It's obvious It's obvious why she has these awards, but we should probably talk about what gave her these awards.
I just found it. It was the audiobook narration of her 2022 memoir, Finding Me.
Nice.
Wow. That was how Viola Davis won her Grammy. See, there is a world where I could be an EGOT winner. It's not in this universe, but in some multiverse out there, there is, there's a possibility.
She also got Best Actress for Fences. In a supporting role. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't. Excuse me. Goodness. See, before I go on, I'm on new medication that makes me sleepy and also makes me very gassy at times. So I apologize, listeners out there, if you hear me yawning or accidentally burping, because I'm not trying to.
Well, we can cut the burples out.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've watched Fences, and we're talking Ma Rainey's Black Bottom today. That's in the same grouping as Fences for reasons I'll talk about.
Oh, sure, yes. I guess she got a Tony for Fences as well.
Hell yeah.
Let's see what else is here. How many have I checked off? The Emmys.
We've done 3. She won another Tony for something. Yeah, I don't know what her Emmy was for.
Emmy for How to Get Away with Murder, which is a television show that I keep on meaning to watch. So
I've heard about it. I didn't know that she has an honorary doctoral degree from Indiana University.
Well, look at that. She's a Hoosier.
She's a Hoosier. Look at us.
Probably not.
Yeah, no, we've just gathered a lot of people. We like to give celebrities honorary
we sure
degrees
do.
every now and then.
I recall that both Meryl Streep and Jonathan Banks from Breaking Bad and other things received
Mike Eagletrout. I don't know why I remember his character name from Breaking Bad.
I forgot that it was Eagletrout. That's such a.
I think it's like Ingle. I think I always say Eagletrout because it's easier for me to remember, but I do think it's like Ingle.
That sounds a little more European for some reason.
Yeah. God, I don't know why I remember his fucking character name. He was one of my favorite characters. I was there for Meryl Streep's honorary degree. That was fun to watch.
Cool. Yeah, I that same year took a class that focused on Meryl Streep, and we just watched Meryl Streep movies once on Tuesday, and then the next Tuesday we talked about the movie. And then we did that again.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good class. It would have been good to have one for Viola Davis, but I think she doesn't have enough that she was the star of. Like Meryl Streep, is, well, for
she gets every role.
Yeah. The awards love her for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's the easiest one to nominate, because she's in everything at least once a year and everybody loves her. But Viola Davis, today, let's go ahead and start with Ma Rainey. I'll go ahead and get out of my way what I was talking about with Fences. Long time ago, Denzel Washington was hired. He had a deal with HBO to make 9 August Wilson plays.
Yes.
2 of those were Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and Fences. That deal fell through. It never happened. I guess it moved to Netflix because that's where both of these films came out on. But yeah, they're both plays by August Wilson, and both of them are adapted. Denzel just produced them. He didn't write them. This one, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, was written for the screen, that is, by Ruben Santiago Hudson, and directed by George C. Wolfe. And both this and Fences are brought in a very loyal adaptation. It very much feels like a play.
It does feel like a play. It's also, this particular one really feels like a chamber drama. There's a couple of scenes that are outside of the studio, but it all takes place in the studio. By the way, those 9 plays that you're talking about, they're known as the Century Cycle or the Pittsburgh Cycle. And it's all about the African American experience, being black in the 20th century, really.
And August Wilson did a great job, I think, capturing that. But yeah, I mean, I sadly don't get to see as many plays as I want to. I love plays. I love going to the theater. I don't typically have the opportunity to go as much as I would love to, but I have had the opportunity to see Fences, I think. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen Fences.
I know that I have, but if I haven't, I've definitely read it. Almost every single one of my classes wanted to study Fences. And I'm like, guys, this is a good play, but I literally just read this last semester. Do I have to? Yeah. It's heart-wreshing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know I've seen the movie, and this is my first introduction to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I never seen it, never read the play. But it's a very interesting and beautiful story. Beautiful in terms of scope, not in terms of, it's kind of a tragedy.
Oh, definitely.
But it takes place, as you said, all in the studio, basically. There's some moments outside of it, but it's mostly just one very like tumultuous. I don't know.
Tumultuous, sure.
Tumultuous, that's the word. Yeah, it's one of those. It's a bad, recording kind of thing. They're trying to record an album for Ma Rainey,
yes.
A famous.
She's blues, yeah, old blues, and she is late, but the band
she's
is
crazy
not.
late.
Yeah,
and she is when you meet her. Of course, Ma Rainey is played amazingly by Viola Davis, and when you meet her, she is very much takes no shit from anyone kind of person.
Oh yeah,
and she's very she's very vocal, which is what you kind of expect from a singer, of course. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when she shows up, she is making sure she gets her way left and right. And if anybody, particularly the recorders, the people running the studio, who are they again?
So
I'm
we
struggling
have
with all these names.
Irving, who's her manager, actually played by Jeremy Shamos, and
Mel Sturdivant.
Yeah. That's played by Johnny Cohen. Or Coney? Probably Coney.
Coyne, I would assume.
I think it's Coney, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
They're the only two white people
any of these people,
I think. No, there's a couple police
which
officers,
is good.
Actually.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there are some. But yeah, I really appreciate both of these films for their very predominant, not only black cast, but black creators. They have a lot of black or African American creators working behind the camera, which is fabulous. We'll talk more about that when we talk The Woman King, because I think that's got it had more focus on trying to have black creators and workers behind the camera. I don't know so much about Ma Rainey's, I just assume. But yeah, she takes no shit from anybody basically, and she's like, she shows up and they're just like, all right, Ma, you're like, an hour or two behind. We gotta get in the studio, we gotta start recording. And she's just like, nah, I need a Coke first. So actually, there's more to it before
contract.
Then.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's the best scene is like once they get prepared to start recording, she's like, where's my Coke? And they're just like, well, we don't have Coke, Ma. We just let's get this recording going. She's like, no, I'm gonna go sit down over here.
Yeah.
I just fucking love her attitude. She's just like, nope, fuck you.
Yeah, there's this one monologue that really like expresses her feeling towards it. It's like these people, they only see us as a commodity because they can sell records with our voices and our music on it.
Yeah.
As soon as we're done, they're not going to care about Ma Rainey. They're not going to care about you. So I'm going to get what I deserve while they're going to give it to me.
Yeah, her whole acting is phenomenal in this. I love Ma Rainey's attitude. Like, I mean, as the audience, I'm laughing quite often at like how she's acting, how she's throwing herself around, and how she's really just pissing off Irvin and Mel.
Right.
They're both just like, God damn it! All right, fine, we'll just do this for you. And I'm just like, this is good stuff. But at the same time, there is a kind of a very sad underlying nature behind it all. Because like she's had a rough life. Even though she's gotten a lot of her way and everything, she's had to work to get to that point. Yeah. And then now she's always fighting back. She can never not fight back.
Yeah, she can't let up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And she's also getting older, and so it's like it's starting to wear on her more and more, and she just doesn't want to show that too much. But at the same time, there's only so much she can do.
Yeah.
But it's really well portrayed. Like you can really see it all on Viola Davis because she's fighting throughout the whole fucking movie. And
as soon as she is introduced, you as an audience member realize that, especially at the time, that it doesn't matter how much money a black person has in America, they're still going to be the source of suspicion. If not more so. Like, where did it come from is the question that the police officer asks about the car when she's introduced.
Yep. And that's like, when she's, because her nephew, Sylvester, played by Doosan Brown, he accidentally turns real quick into an oncoming car when he sees the recording studio. And that's how we are introduced to Ma.
Yeah.
Is, the cops and everybody gathering around, and they're gathering around after an incident we did not get to see, which is Ma apparently shoved the driver of the car to the ground.
Apparently, and this is an accusation.
Allegedly,
yes.
Yeah.
And
like she's saying, I never even touched him.
Yeah, she does say that, and while I would prefer to believe Ma Rainey, I also know that she has the personality that she is. She would push somebody if they get in her face. For
exactly.
Sure.
That's where I was coming at too. Is it's just like I want to be on her side, but at the same time I'm like, yeah, you might have shoved the guy to the ground. Not that that's worthy of any kind of arrest.
No, it should not be worthy of. And if it was between a white woman and a white man, the cops wouldn't have done anything. They'd probably assume the white man touched her funny. But yeah.
I would hope they would assume that. I mean,
yeah, but they don't.
Who knows
they don't. We don't fucking know. We can only assume what is in cop brain by cop behavior. So
right, yeah, and that doesn't bode well.
No,
let's be honest. But yeah, the cop there, he's getting ready to make a whole scene. He's ready to arrest on site. He's ready to take him to the pound and everything. But Irvin comes out and he's just like, oh fuck, I gotta get this record going. So Irvin, he bribes the guy, and Ma just completely expected him to do that too. Like that was. I think that was kind of her end game, was just to get him out there and do your fucking job so I can get in there and record.
Right.
Get these cops out of here.
She also makes Irving pay to fix the car too.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. She does. It's fucking gold, man. Yeah. But by the time she finally gets there, the whole band has been down in in their room recording, and it's a shitty room. It's for blacks only, I would assume, and it's just it's really underkept, like walls falling apart already. It's a locker room too, I think.
It's just a place. Yeah, it's just a place to play, and it being the 20s, I think recording music in this way is only so old, like maybe 40 to 50 years old. And I'm sure the microphones and stuff, that's relatively new and all that.
Yeah. So that's fair.
Yeah. So it might be someplace that this studio is like, I need to buy someplace cheap and gut it. And make and
that's possible.
Yeah. So who knows?
I didn't think so. I guess I looked at it the worst that I could. But that band includes you got Levy Green, played by Chadwick Boseman, amazingly played by Chadwick Boseman. I think this is his last role.
It was at least dedicated to him. Yeah. The movie was.
Yeah. You also have, I believe, Toledo, played by Glenn Turman.
Yep.
Cutler by Coleman Domingo, and Slow Drag by Michael Potts. Slow Drag. And you get a lot of beautiful... They're the basic... I mean, Ma obviously is a big focus for the movie. But they're the other big focus, the band, because a lot of the movie just takes place in that room where they're supposed to be preparing the music.
And Ma Rainey gets mad a lot and storms off. Right. And we still just stay with the band.
And you just get a lot of beautiful monologues, play style monologues, where these characters explain their lives, their tragedies, their backstories. Specifically Levy Green. Levy is he's got his eyes set on the future, and he is really badly wanting to have his own record done with Mel and Irvin, and he's talking them up, trying to get them to let him do his own songs. He had talked to them beforehand into doing his version of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom,
right?
Which obviously pisses off Ma Rainey.
Yes, it's a downright a conspiracy, behind her back, and it pisses her off, and she's like, "No, I even brought my nephew here, Sylvester, to do the opening, even though he stutters worse than I do." Being the Faceless Leon.
Right. Yeah, he's got the genuine stutter, and it's the whole band is kind of just like, oh man, we don't want him to start it because we're gonna have to take like 8 different takes before we can get it right.
Especially the recording people are like absolutely not.
Because and to be fair for them, like that is money because that's a record gone, which back in the 20s was probably quite costly for them.
Right, it probably cost 5 cents.
Yeah, it's so true. But at the same time, it's Ma Rainey's nephew. She ain't gonna back down from that shit. He's gonna do the line. He'll get it right, and when he does, it'll be a damn good recording. That's and right. She makes sure that it is a good recording. The only problem is they didn't get the son or the nephew's vocals because the fucking microphone they gave him was shit. Yeah, like the cord was frayed and everything. Oh, I felt bad for the kid in that scene.
I did too, but man, I really appreciated Ma Rainey's interaction with Sylvester. Like, when he first tried to do it, like when he was rehearsing with Cutler, everyone in the band was like, "Oh fuck no, no way."
Yeah, nobody was gonna give him a chance.
Yeah, Ma Rainey just kept on encouraging him. He did not do a very good job in the first recording, or several recordings, but the first that we see, and she's like, "Very good, you got through it. Now let's do this. You can do it. Keep on going till you get it right." And it was very encouraging. Yeah.
And that's one of the things. I mean, my interactions with Stutters is basically just through Stephen King novels because he has a lot of characters who do that. I think either he or his brother stuttered when they were kids, but like that's my only like introduction with that is through Stephen King, and so it's like it's very from what I have read of that. Anxiety just makes the stutter worse. Yeah. And it was really nice that, Ma Rainey was just like, because she can be a very intimidating woman.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure Sylvester's intimidated by her.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But it was really nice to watch her just like remove herself from him to allow him to just go, because she, as you said, she encouraged him. And it was like, there was just those were like the beautiful moments with Ma Rainey, when you got a peek at her true side, the
side when she's not doing business, which she kind of always has to be doing business,
right? Yeah, and it was really beautiful. I really did love those moments. The moments that were hard was her interactions with Levy Green, Chadwick Boseman, because. She doesn't like that he is so set on himself, on his own future. Right. But you learn through his monologues, through his backstory and everything, why he is that way. Yeah. And it's pretty fucking heart-wrenching because it's like he's had a really tough upbringing involving his, he didn't watch his mom get raped, but I think he had to hear it.
He was in the house anyways.
Yeah, he was in the house.
He might have seen it. I don't remember.
Yeah, how his dad handled it and everything was like, it's not... I mean, it is traumatizing, but it's just like, it really did affect his outlook on the world. Oh, yeah. And why he focuses so hard on himself and bettering himself. So it's just like, I don't know, the story is so fucking beautiful because it's like, there's moments where you're rooting for Levy, there's moments where you're like, dude, back off. Right.
I mean, that's... all up to Boseman's performance too. He's fabulous in it as well.
Oh, yeah. Him and Viola Davis together make this movie. I mean, it's already a good story in and of itself, but their performances just made this fucking story soar like crazy. It was so damn good to watch.
Let's do closing statements.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like I really loved it. I love a good play. I love being enraptured by an actor's performance on the stage. And, George Wolfe and Ruben Santiago Hudson, the director and writer, respectively, they really did a good job at, bringing that to the screen, making it a movie, and yet not too flashy that the play disappears in the cinema of it. Mm-hmm. It really did just feel like a really good play performance. I was fucking mesmerized throughout the whole thing, specifically by Chadwick Boseman and Viola Davis. Like, both of them are phenomenal And so, like, I give it 4 stars just because it's like that was one of the best plays I've ever seen.
That is fair. It is a very good play. I mean, if we were talking just about the movie, I think we would have gotten more into the beef between Toledo and Levy. That's sad too. Just where that turns at the very end is very, it's very much a stage play. And I want to go see it on stage now. You know, I gotta say, the only Century Cycle I knew about the Century Cycle, but the only one I had seen was Fences, and or read. So now I'm kind of more interested in reading the others. Maybe I did read one of the ones that are set earlier. I can't remember, but whatever. I give it a face and a half. I thought it was very good, superbly performed. Everyone deserves the accolades they got for it. I honestly don't think they gave anything to Chadwick Boseman for this performance, and it's a fabulous performance, so that's upsetting.
I think he was nominated, but I'm not honestly sure about that.
Well, then sometimes that's just how it shakes out. But didn't they give it to Heath Ledger? And I don't know. I mean, that was a good Joker, and I don't want to speak ill of, past performers, but I thought this performance was really, really good. One of his best.
Yeah. To be fair, I have not seen the movie that won. So he was nominated with Stephen Yen for Minari, Gary Oldman for Mank,
right,
Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, and the winner, Anthony Hopkins, for The Father.
Yeah.
I've not seen The Father.
Yeah.
I've heard it's a damn good performance, but my God, Chadwick Boseman did amazing in this. And Viola Davis was nominated for Best Actress as well, alongside Andrew Day in the United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman, and the winner, Frances McDormand, for Nomadland.
That was a very good performance, but
I would argue Viola Davis was better.
I think you might be right. Yeah, well, that's why we watch movies and we don't give them awards because, maybe we should. Because
wouldn't it be nicer if we did?
Yeah, we would do better. We'd have to watch a lot more movies, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not to shit on this year's Oscars because I feel like they did a decent job in regards to giving the awards out, but blanking on her name from Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Oh, shit. Yeah, me too. And I was just talking about her earlier today.
Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
Angela Bassett lost Best Supporting Actress to Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I love Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was my favorite movie last year. That said, Angela Bassett fucking made me cry with her performance.
She did make me cry.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice. It was fucking phenomenal. And then they give it to Jamie Lee Curtis, who I love. I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
They probably didn't.
But come on.
There's probably another motivation other than racism not to give it to her is probably because they didn't want to give Marvel an Oscar.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to give the Oscar to a superhero film.
Yeah,
they don't like giving the big awards to the superhero films. They'll give them costume and best sound design and that kind of stuff. But let's avoid giving them the top 5 big awards. I'm just fuck off.
Did I say that Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is a face and a half?
You did indeed.
Okay. Well, it is.
Thank you for bringing us back, because I think it's time for a nice little soda pop break. Yeah, while we're taking that, while we're getting our wetting our lips, head on down to patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Check out our subscription tiers. You might like what you find there.
You might like that. And also you could check out our poll there for the potato pick. It's still up right now. I don't think it will be for much longer after this episode comes out.
Oh, no, I closed it. I closed the April poll. You guys lost your chance to vote on that.
They closed it.
It's done.
Too slow, just like me.
Yeah, it's Heath. Yeah, we're getting a Heath Ledger actor spotlight.
I better close the one on YouTube then. That was another place where you can vote. So next time the potato pick comes around, We'll let you guys know, and you can vote on either Patreon or YouTube. Okay.
And you better get out there and do it.
Do it. All right. Soda Prop.
Whoop. I love you. You think romance is dead and gone? Whoa. I know jukebox full of 45s, pop a nickel in it, and it all comes back to me.
Do you listen to the whole break when it's your turn to record, or to edit, rather? Do you listen to the whole break?
No, not usually. Sometimes I have to listen to parts of it because I can't shut up long enough to, just keep dead silence. So I have to listen to parts until we're like, oh, we're actually back. I gotta, that's where I gotta come back in on. Yeah. Like that.
Are we're
back in, right?
Yeah, I think we're back.
That'll confuse me. Or you.
I will confuse all of us, including the potatoes. Welcome back.
Yep.
We are talking about The Woman King.
Yay!
So, that's too bad. I do forget what the title of the actual Woman King. Like, they call it both things. It's a sacred title.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But apparently,
sadly, I don't remember that either.
So apparently, in this nation.
Oh gosh. I looked it up and I cannot pronounce it. I will tell you.
Okay.
It's Kpojito. Cogito.
That sounded like what they said.
It's either the K is silent or the P is silent, or neither of them is silent.
Yeah, maybe you say them together. So anyhow, in this nation, which I also forget about what their title.
Dahomey.
In the Dahomey nation, they have this long tradition of having both a male king and a female king.
Yes.
Or a king and a woman king. And with the recent kings, King Gezo, in his father's reign, his father stopped doing that. And we find out in the background information that King Gezo... Is it Gezo or Jezo?
I honestly don't remember. It's played by John Boyega, though.
Thank you.
Which is lovely.
Yes, and he does great. He, with the help of Naniska, who is a general of the Agoge, is that it?
Agoge
or something. Yes. But anyways, that's Viola.
Yeah.
That's Viola Davis's character, is Naniska. And she helped put Gezo on the throne. I don't know if that was he usurped from his dad or from his brother. I didn't quite catch that.
Right.
But
I don't quite remember myself.
He is interested in bringing back this tradition of the Woman King, and there are whispers that it's going to be Naniska. But Naniska, she's pretty satisfied with being the general of the Agoge.
In the Agoge, they are an army of women.
That's
warriors,
right.
Basically.
Yes, and they are the King's Guard too.
I think they're one of the inspirations for the Black Panther's Dora Milaje.
I would think that would be true.
Yeah.
I did not hear that, but that makes a lot of sense.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. So that is what the title is referencing, the Woman King. But that, honestly, I wasn't sure if that was ever going to happen.
This movie is like a sprawling epic. It's like, a lot of people compared it to The Gladiator, and it's very similar in terms of like an action, but like watered down story of an epic.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't go as far as it possibly can go to be an epic, but it does a lot. But that's one of the areas. Is it seems like there's like two very hard acts. Mm-hmm. And like the first act is like, is there gonna be a woman king? Are we actually gonna get this? And then the second act is like big crazy fight action, like craziness and story plot twists and stuff.
Really good war scenes, really good fight choreography. I love spear fighting, and they have these cool swords. Man, it's great.
Yep.
So if you're into that, it's very worth watching for that. And man, Viola Davis can move. Like, she goes up...
Oh my god, yeah.
She goes up against her rival character, who is a general in the Oyo Empire, and he is the main Oyo that we come across. He is Aba Ade. Aba Ade is played by Jimmy Odukoya. He's pretty fucking awesome. For a second, I thought it was a really beefed up Daniel Kaluuya. Okay? And maybe that's not okay, but I did. But then I looked him up, and anyways, Jimmy, you did a great job playing this character who is really honestly vile. Just the worst. Yeah. He's not only a slaver, he also he's a rapist. And that's a big part of Naniska's trauma. She was a part of the EGOT and got abducted, and along with his men, they hurt her in this very vile way, and just over and over again until she was rescued. Yeah, and that really drives her to kind of break from her very disciplined, her usual way of life, because he shows up. He shows up, and he's the one that's demanding tribute, which is an arrangement that's been going on for quite some time between these two nations. That's
part of the this film. This film got a lot of when critics were reviewing it. One of the things they focused on a lot was the historical inaccuracies. From what I can remember, the Dahomey kingdom did contribute to slavery, which was a common thing back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But from, I guess, maybe they never, stopped doing that. I can't remember. But this film takes a very strong stance where John Boyega, King Jazo, him and Naniska both want to stop the contribution to slavery.
Yeah. They want
American slavery
also the port that they work out of, because it is pretty near to the modern era. It's only 200 years ago. They are trying to still be a global nation, have trade in some capacity. They even have Portuguese people come at some point, these being Portuguese Brazilians. The one is a captain. Let's see if I can't find his name. He matters a lot less than the other one. So look for the Portuguese names, Greg. You know what Portuguese names look like?
I don't.
Me either. So it might be easier for... I do remember... I think I found them. I believe the captain's name was Santo Fiera, and that's played by Hero Fiennes Tiffin, and he has brought along Jordan Bolger's character named Malik. Malik is half Domaha? That's not right. Why can't I get this name? What is the nation's name? Dahomey.
Dahomey.
Okay, he is half Dahomey.
Remember the chant, Dahomey, Dahomey. That's how I remember it.
Okay. Well, I remember Agoge. They were chanting that too. Yeah. Okay, but Dahomey,
they might have actually just been
rhymes.
No. I'm now thinking maybe they were just a chanting Agoge.
Well, I'm going to remember Dahomey now, because I've said it a couple times.
I was in a bit of a medicinal fugue state because of my new drugs that I'm on.
Well, I'm also just, have a really hard time understanding words when they're vocalized at me. It doesn't even have to be different languages. English words
That's
have
fair.
Ones that I just haven't heard before. I'm like, what are you saying? If it's more than 5 syllables, I'm like, there is no way this is a word.
Juxtaposition? What the fuck
are you talking about? So so that's the whole thing with the Oyo, and I guess I was talking about these Portuguese Brazilian guys.
Right.
Anyways, they want the Dahomey to trade with them This being Santo, anyways. Malik is just there to visit Dahomey. Just because it was his mother's dying wish.
Doesn't he become part of that love interest?
He does. For the plot purposes, he does become Nawi's love interest. Now, Nawi is a young Dahomey woman whose parents just give up on her, and this is, I guess, a semi-common thing, and just like, you're a Goje now, I give you to the king. And she is met behind the woman palace. This is where the Agoge stay. No men are allowed unsupervised or after dark.
Or to even look in there, too.
People aren't supposed to look at, not even the women, though. Nobody, the king has decreed that the women, nobody's supposed to look at the Agoge. Yeah. And I think that it's something to do with them being women and not wanting them to flirt with people and stuff like that. And Nawi actually brings this up. It's pretty interesting. That's played by Thuso Mbedu. She talks about this, actually. She brings it up. It's like, the men warriors, they marry and have families. Why can't we do the same thing? Yeah. And I don't know if it was Naniska or one of the other elders of the group that made them sound really old. They're not. One of the elite members of the Agoge say something about, like, well, if you become pregnant, you're out. That's one of the rules, but also, like, you can't fight while you're pregnant, or at least late term.
Right.
Anyways, let's talk about real quick the other two important Agoge. There's Izogi, played by Lashana Lynch, and Aminza, played by Sheila Atom. And they're both phenomenal actors and characters. Just great. And the relationship between Izogi and Nawi is so great. Like, it's like a big sister, little sister relationship,
Yeah, I loved it.
It was so good. And the relationship between Aminza and Naniska, Viola Davis's character, was also very good. So Aminza she's technically an outsider. She's a Goje, but she was not born Dahomey. So when she came in, I believe it was stated that Naniska was like one of the few people who accepted her. So that's why she is like her closest confidant and lieutenant. And she also does these seeing things, this like ritual. And she's like, oh, don't get the nuts. This being Viola Davis. Like, don't get the nuts. It's like the funniest part of the show for me. Yeah.
I love their interactions. Like, there's really good chemistry throughout everybody on this area, which is interesting because it was one of those post-COVID productions that got interrupted by COVID. Wow. Like, I don't think like they were shut down like during when everybody had the shutdowns throughout the world. But I think members of the cast got COVID. And that stopped production for a little while. So normally if you have that kind of a disjointed, period of recording, things can feel disjointed. But I think the chemistry was pretty on point for most of these characters.
I would say so. Yes, I thought for it could have just easily have been an action movie, and still been cool, like a Wonder Woman-esque movie, but like. The fucking acting and character work is just really good. Like, every character seemed fully realized. Even the Brazilian captain. Like, he had a very small role, but, and he was kind of cruel and twisted and very much a slaver through and through.
Right.
Definitely saw black people as lesser than. But he also, at the same time, is childhood's best friend with Malik, and has brought him along as a favor to see his ancestral homeland.
Not to spend too much time on those two characters, but I did just out of happenstance find out that the guy who played the captain, Santo Ferreira, the actor, is Hero Tiflin. Yeah. Apparently that was young Lord Voldemort in the movies.
Was it? Tom Riddle.
He apparently played the 11-year-old Tom Riddle in Half-Blood Prince.
That's hilarious. So you're right, though. We should get back to Viola Davis. What else should we say about Viola Davis's performance?
Well, I mean, specifically of her performance, it's just incredible because, we don't want to make it sound like Viola is old, because she's not old. Right. But when you're an actor, and, I would assume she's in her 50s. I don't know. Yeah, she's 57. When you're 57, the amount of, action that she does is incredible, and she looks great too doing it. She really got,
she looks so strong,
so fucking intimidating throughout the whole thing. Where Ma Rainey is very intimidating in her way, General Naniska is intimidating just standing there.
Yes.
Both of them are intimidating when they're quiet and staring at you. If you were being stared at by both of these women, you'd be like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
But
there is
General
just
Naniska has
much
a
power.
I will kill you energy.
Yes. So much power behind it. I feel like Ma Rainey's is more like, I'm fucking Ma Rainey.
Yeah, they both had to fight for their places in life.
That's right.
Naniska literally had to fight, war fighting.
Yeah, and is good at it.
But I also just not even specifically focusing on Viola Davis. I want to shout out the director, Gina Prince Bythewood. Sorry, I'm totally butchering that name. I have no idea who this woman is.
No, I've never heard
Bythewood?
of her.
Yeah. I looked up her filmography. I sadly have not seen a lot of her movies. Her first movie was...
I have heard of Love and Basketball.
Yeah, that was her first one. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, we had it, but I never watched it for some reason.
Huh. Well, I'm looking at her filmography, and I don't know anything except for The Old Guard. And the only reason I know about The Old Guard is it's written by Greg Rucka, who is one of the defining writers of Wonder Woman, back in the 90s and even recently he had another run on Wonder Woman. And if you were to, I only know this because I love comic books, I read comic books. If you were to ask pretty much anybody what's the best, what are the, top 3 best runs of Wonder Woman, at least one of those from every single Wonder Woman fan is going to be Greg Rucka's run in the 90s on Wonder Woman. That's the only reason I know The Old Guard is because I know the writer. Didn't know she was the director. Now I want to see it because the way she... But all I'm really getting at is it doesn't seem like she's ever helmed an epic film before. And you can kind of see that in this movie. There are moments where it's it could have been more epic here. You could have been more epic here. But I don't fucking care because she really did a damn good job delivering an epic.
I think that the only thing that would have made it more of an epic for me was more passage of time. But you have the backflashes. Flashbacks?
Yeah.
And
both work.
Also you have this moment where you watch Nawi get stronger through the training and stuff too. There's also even some really cool cinematic shots. There's one in particular.
She really did a good job.
Yeah, there's one in particular. I believe it's Naniska who runs out and is crying, but it might be Nawi. I can't remember. But they're at the corner of this red clay building, and they zoom out, and it's just, oh man, I love that shot. I thought that was really good. I thought they could live in it a little bit more, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe they could have lived in their great cinematography more.
Yeah. Shout out to Polly Morgan though. That was another thing I wanted to give a shout out to. Gina Prince Bythewood, the screenplay writer Dana Stevens, as well as Maria Bello, who had she helped with the story idea of it. But they really badly wanted to focus on, as I mentioned earlier, a black cast and a black crew. And the one thing I remembered reading about when I was, back when this movie came out last year, because I watched it and I think I pitched it for Bangers and Hash if we were doing it at the time, I can't remember. But the one thing I remembered was they wanted to focus on a black crew because if you get resumes from a lot of people of color in the entertainment industry, those resumes are short because they're not getting the same opportunities that, white people are getting. And so that's why they wanted to focus on a black crew. And I think Polly Morgan was one of those, people who they got the resume and everything and were just like, this is the woman for us. And she fucking killed it. Like, her cinematography was great.
It was awesome.
And I'm curious how big her filmography is too, because...
Well, I was looking at Gina Prince Blythewood's, and it isn't very long either, unfortunately. There seems to be a lot of periods where she is not getting projects, and I hope that changes because this was an amazing movie.
Yeah, Polly Morgan does have a decent filmography. It's not a lot of films, but enough. And I've definitely seen A Quiet Place Part 2. She did that, and also I've heard of Where the Crawdads Sing. I never watched it, but I heard about that. So it's like it seems recently she's getting more and more. So that's good.
So
but, yeah, crazy shout out to the cast and crew.
Will die soon, so we should probably do closing statements.
That's fair. Yeah. As far as epics go, I think this is a fine one. It's not great. There are moments where it's a little dumbed down, and I'm just like, a little watered down, I guess. And like the story has so many textbook elements. Like we were talking earlier about the relationship between. No, I lost the cast.
Izogi.
Izogi and Nawi and everything. I called once their relationship took off. I called everything that was going to happen to it within 5 minutes of it happening, of them becoming friends. I was this is exactly what's going to happen with their friendship, and everything that I called happened. It's very textbook. That's not a big deal. I really didn't care. This was last year. I pulled out my notes to look at how I felt coming out of the theaters, and my top note is haven't been that pumped leaving the theater in a while. And it's fucking true. That's still fair. On rewatch it, even though I was in a fugue state, I really enjoyed the fighting. The fighting's great, cinematography's great, directing, acting, all of it's beautiful. I think it's a little weird that everybody keeps comparing it to Gladiator. That's probably just the best comparison, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it is an epic, but it's very much a cinema flashy epic.
Yeah, and I would give that to Gladiator too. Yeah,
and I give it 3.5 stars. It could have been better. Could have been more epic, but I really enjoyed it. I think it was better than Gladiator too. I really don't remember Gladiator, if I'm being honest. I know I've seen it 4 times. Yeah, I've seen it 4 times, and I can tell you who's in it and certain things that happen. But the thing that stands out the most is Joaquin Phoenix giving me a thumbs down. That's all I can really remember.
The truly. Computer meme. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's another face and a half movie for me, and I will say, you might have said as an epic, it maybe isn't the best epic, but it's the best epic I've seen in a long time. It's really
that's fair.
I was really pumped by it, and it's just another one that I thought the performances were amazing, and it's a completely different movie than Ma Rainey. So it's hard to say who really is. I might say would win, but I don't know. I think I just had more fun with The Woman King. So and just the performances are pretty damn equal, I think.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Ma Rainey just because I love that theater aspect more, and I feel like I was more mesmerized. It's also shorter.
There was no 3 endings to the Woman King. To be fair,
yeah. But as you said, both performances are equal because Viola Davis is a fucking talent, man.
Yes,
goddamn powerhouse. I love her.
Yes. Congratulations again on your vast achievement throughout the years.
Yeah.
And getting on that very exclusive list.
And of course, for your upcoming Waller TV show. I'm very excited for that.
There we go. We'll watch that together when that comes along.
That's mild sarcasm because as much as I love Viola Davis, the Suicide Squad stuff.
Yes, I thought that she was a very good choice.
Oh, she's an amazing Amanda Waller.
Waller. But it was just also they keep on bringing her in to do it, and it's like,
yeah,
they're not actually doing anything with the character though at the same time.
Yeah, hopefully with the TV show they actually do something with her now.
Yeah.
And with James Gunn in charge of everything. Here's hoping.
We'll see. Fingers crossed. Okay. I think that
God
was the show. We hope you enjoyed it out there, Viola Davis, if you're listening. Yeah.
I really hope so. That'd be hilarious.
I do.
You're welcome on the show anytime if you want to just...
Anytime
I don't know why you would want to hang out with us.
Anytime that you want to tell us that we shouldn't be talking about black people at all, you're welcome to.
That's the truth. Or women.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, though. We love you all, Couch Potatoes. It's always fun. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.